Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Akio, and I'm coming at you with another Synchronicity Sundays. This video is about how a butterfly landed on me 3 days after I decided to stop drinking. This was June 15th, 2019, and it was around that time that I decided that I just wanted to, give alcohol a break, not knowing that it would last all the way up until this long, which it's been some years now since I've sipped any alcohol. But talking about that day, June 15th, 2019, I was with my homie Kirby Griffin. He's a photographer, DP, cinematographer, director, filmmaker. He's a good friend of mine. And him and we went around my old way to take some photos of me because I wanted, some headshots and some photography around my old way. I grew up in East Baltimore, Federal and Bond Street to be exact, the 1600 block of Bond Street. I used to stay in a house that was 1614, and now it's been renovated. It's been made into a new row home. But when I took the photo, it was my old house was still abandoned. And when we pulled up around the block, I was talking to Kirby about my mom's, and we was right in front of my apartment. I'm sorry, we was right in front of my house where we stayed at, me and my mother and my two sisters, my two siblings, and a butterfly, as I was talking about my mother, a butterfly landed right on my left shoulder. And Kirby was like, yo, you got a butterfly on your back. And I was like, for real? And I looked to my left and it was just right there on my shoulder, just flapping its wings. And he was like, yo, stay right there, yo. I'm going to see if I can get my camera. And if it's still on your shoulder, I'm going to take some photos of it. And sure enough, he went all the way to the middle of the block, went inside of his car, grabbed the camera. And when he came towards me, the butterfly was still like chilling, like just sitting on my shoulder, just flapping. And he took photos of me and the butterfly was still there, and I was walking around with the butterfly. I was taking a video selfie and saying how it was a spirit because I felt like I was just talking about my mom. So we finished the photo shoot, you know what I mean, took a few shots, man. It was a dope session, man. And it also inspired my twin sister. I'll get into that in a minute. you know um so when I went home that day, I decided to look up what does it mean when a butterfly lands on you or when you dream about a butterfly. Since I went to Australia, they call Australia the animal kingdom. You know, Australia gets a lot of bad rap because it has like a lot of insects and a lot of bugs and a lot of different species, real different species in that area, in that climate, in that country. But since I've traveled there, I've discovered about animal totems and what's the meaning behind your interaction with animals and birds and insects or something like that. Or when you have like one of these random moments that like I had that the butterfly landed on my left shoulder. And I looked it up and it said two things: either someone who transcended was coming to visit you, and the second thing was either you made a big change in your life. And just recently, in that one incident, I was talking about my mother. And then just recently on June 15th, in that time recently, I had just 3 days prior decided to stop drinking. So it was like a metamorphosis that was happening. And I just looked at it that it was confirmation that I was doing the right thing. Often so many signs is all around us. And, sometimes we can be blinded, but it's just, you know, one look away. You can be looking left and it's right there, but sometimes you can miss it if you're not careful. But we also have to be in tune with it, right? And we have to be open to receiving these messages. God sends us all types of messages and signs, right? And sometimes it might be signs and messages that we don't want to hear because sometimes, we might feel like it doesn't fall into alignment with what we want, you know? But I'm grateful that that experience was like no other, and now today's date is May 18th. And like I said, I still have been sober for all these years. So during the breakups and during COVID and during like the hardships that I've had went through with discovering, how to manage and how to, open up this new chapter in my life of entrepreneurship, I did it sober. And I feel like that moment in time, it was so precious, it was so special, you know. And I always share about that story, about that weird coincidence. And I think that when I repurpose this video, I will show like the B-roll just so you can see about the butterfly. And that summer of 2019, it was very difficult for me, you know what I mean? Because I was still going out to different places and people was, my friends was drinking. And it was difficult at first, but then I started to get used to just the interaction that I'll have in public. And I remember engaging with people after some time. I'll give about 3 to 4 or 5 weeks. I started really enjoying myself, like really enjoying that I was able to have a whole conversation without feeling like I needed to get buzzed to be relaxed or let my nerves be calm. And even still to this day, when I go out, to a B day, I was just at a B day party earlier today. Me and my sister, we went to church, and then my little cousin Amira, it was her birthday today, and we had a good time. It was a great time. But in moments and incidences like that, either I needed a cigarette, which I stopped smoking cigarettes, or I needed alcohol because I felt like if I was connected to the vibe, I had to be buzzed for it to be a vibe. And I feel like since then it was a moment of clarity since June of 2019, and a couple of months after I've decided to stop drinking, it brought so much clarity that even the relationship that I was in at the time, even that faltered because I started noticing things that I wasn't noticing, where I was using alcohol as a crutch. And I never had an alcohol problem. I just wanted to know what it was like. What it was like. What does Akio look like that doesn't necessarily need that? Or what's on the other side of getting over that default action? And it's brought me so much clarity. It's brought me so much awareness. And I feel like it's also added, you know, maybe amount of years to my life because, truth be told, I had discovered that my biological father, he had, grew tumors on his brain from smoking cigarettes and being an alcoholic. Every moment that I remember of my father, when he did visited me and my twin sister and my older sister, he was reeking of alcohol. And I didn't want to follow down the line of those footsteps. I wanted to make some deposits in my health, whether it be my physical health, my mental health, spiritual. I wanted to be different. I wanted to break the chain because, like I said in other videos, in the very first video, I said why I quit drinking. I wasn't no stranger to uh, that life of drinking, you know. So, so many synchronicities that I've had over the years, and I just wanted to share this with you and how the butterfly, the significance. I close with this, the significance of the butterfly. How I close it with, remember I said about my sister. My sister was inspired because moments when the photos was released a couple of days after me and Kirby shot the photos. It was before our birthday, and my sister surprised me um, at our birthday because we're twins. I had a surprise b-day party at 7 West that my the person who I was with at the time, she had surprised me with, and my twin sister, she surprised me with a painting, and that painting had me on there, and it featured the butterfly. So she utilized the image that I posted for the photo shoot, and she was inspired by it because she said when she seen it, she got emotional. She got emotional because she said that, Keo, I don't even know if you remember, but when mommy had passed away, she said she kept seeing butterflies. And that's why she named her face painting company Glorious Faces. And then the logo is a monarch butterfly, the same butterfly that landed on my shoulder. So when she seen it, she was, she was crying, and she felt inspired to make the art piece from the photo shoot for something that both of I felt we would never forget. And she had preserved that memory into a capsule by making art out of it. So inspiring, so powerful. And I encourage you to just look at anything that's around you, not just for surface, but see, and explore and find what it is that God and the God of the universe is trying to speak to you and through you, because it's a powerful thing, y'all. So I'll leave you with that on the Synchronicity Sundays. Hope you took something from this. And let me know if I had any tabs open. I'm glad I remembered to talk about my sister in that painting, because, I still have her painting hung up. We had that art piece exhibited at Twin Journeys when we first had our collaboration. And first was our first time ever being an exhibit in the art gallery, a fine art gallery. Shout out to Quinn Art Gallery. Shout out to Nancy. And it was exciting. And I know that my mother is proud. She's proud of both of us in making that Twin Journeys an ode to Glorious Taylor. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Just wanted to check in and tap in with you guys to let you guys know that also vote for me for Best Baltimore Magazine. I'm nominated for 2 nominations. Vote daily. And also, I'll keep you up to speed on this week's Artscape. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.